I learned something like pickpocketing.
Okay.
So I would do things just to try it, not to really like being a bad person or whatever.
Right.
But like I would try to like take somebody's wallet and hand it to them, like, oh, you dropped this, like stuff like that.
Right.
And so I would get in trouble, and I got in trouble one particular time that I did it, and I wasn't able to give it back.
What was the moment that you realized that your childhood is kind of over and now you're stepping into adulthood? What was that moment? Was it the car? Was it the job? Was it the girl? Like, what was that moment where you feel like maybe you're not a man yet, but you're starting to do adult things and you're feeling like you're not a child no more?
I feel like I had to grow up early. So for me, I feel like I had to mature at a younger age because of my mother was still in her 20s. So she was still going out trying to live her lifestyle, go out and hang out and go to the club and stuff like that, which I had no problem with as a child, but it was just like I had a younger sister, so I had to watch my younger sister and stuff like that. So I had to grow up and do little things like cleaning the house, learning how to cook, learning how to take care of kids and stuff like that growing up.
How old were you when you vividly remember cooking, cleaning, watching, babysitting your own sister? Like, how old were you?
11, 12. So super, super young.
So yeah, you have to mature quickly.
Oh yeah, so for sure.
And so obviously that plays into your life now. So you're getting into middle school, getting into high school. I can only imagine what that's like because developmentally, we got hormones flying. Like you said, you grew up in Arkansas, so some of your contemporaries may have been getting into gang stuff. You know what I mean? That's a huge choice for you to make at such a young age, man. So it's interesting to hear you say that, you never really got into gang like Bull kept you. And so because the narrative would have people believe Dad's not around, it's going to turn out to be the worst. And even in the example that you used, if the two young men had the twins, exact same upbringing, one chose to do law, one chose to be on the other side of the law. You know what I mean? So it's interesting how choice, and I think a lot comes down to influences. Your mom's influences, your aunts, being in that role where you have to raise your siblings. That may have been a lot of the reasons why you probably didn't bowl. You know what I mean? So your contemporaries, like, what was? I know it was an everyday where it's like, man, I'm just. Because we're painting a picture.
Oh, yeah, for
like
sure.
J Boog didn't get into some new things in the middle school and high school. I'm pretty sure you had your challenges. Dating. But what was it that kept you? You talked about it, but what was it that was like, nah, that's not really for me? Because I'm pretty sure there was some stuff that took place in high school. Give us a couple stories that may have could have been differently.
So for me, growing up, and like my mom also was in the military too.
Okay.
So I went back and forth between her and my grandmother.
Okay.
Middle school, I really wasn't a fighter, but like for me, I was like somebody who I really wasn't going good in school. So I would get into like little things, like getting in trouble, just learning little things and trying things. Like in one particular situation, I learned something like pickpocketing.
Okay.
So I would do things just to try it, not to really like being a bad person or whatever.
Right.
But like I would try to like take somebody's wallet and hand it to them, like, oh, you dropped this, like stuff like that.
Right.
And so I would get in trouble, and I got in trouble one particular time that I did it, and I wasn't able to give it back, and I got in trouble for it. And so, get into that type of trouble. I got into that trouble. My mom kind of felt a certain way about it, and she took me out of school.